On that day, the remnant came out. 2 from a city, 1 from a village. A woman and her child came out of a bunker under the ruins. A man came out of a sewer. Survivors came out of the forests of the partisans. The rescued came out of Auschwitz. In Europe, the sun was shining and the world was back on its course. They stood among heaps of ashes, a flaming stone in their hearts.
World War II ended in May 1945 with dancing in the streets, though much of Europe had been reduced to rubble. While most of the world celebrated the end of 6 years of war, there was no happy ending for the Jews. For them, the moment of liberation came too late. Entire communities had been wiped out.
We are free now, but we don't know how to begin our free but unfortunate lives. We have forgotten how to laugh. We cannot cry anymore. We do not comprehend our freedom.
Just as the period before the Holocaust must be taught, the period after the Holocaust must be taught as well in order to present the full human story. By the end of the Holocaust, the survivors' lives had been shattered. Some would never manage to rehabilitate themselves. We will focus here on the majority, those who mustered all their strength and somehow managed to return to life. Many of them were alone in the world and started with nothing, yet somehow they made their way back from the edge of the abyss. Their fight and their resilience is an extraordinary story, since it is far from obvious that people who had been through the trauma of the Holocaust would have the strength to return to life. For those Jews who had survived the Holocaust, the fight to stay alive had tapped all their physical strength. In most cases, the survivors were weak and sick. Some were on the verge of death. Many were human skeletons. They had to be nursed slowly back to health and given desperately needed medical attention. Of those who made it to the moment of liberation, thousands died immediately afterwards. Most of the survivors had to fight so hard just to stay alive that they didn't have the capacity or the ability to confront the fates of their loved ones. Up until liberation, many had expended all their energy on surviving from minute to minute. Now they realized that their entire families were gone. Their lives would never be the same. While the rest of the world was counting the dead, the Jews were counting the living.